In case you've been in a deep, deep sleep for the past few months, you know that the Resident Evil 4 Remake just dropped, and boy oh boy, do I have some thoughts on it. This review will be spoiler-free and only use footage from the first couple hours of the game, so there you go. Full transparency, I have not beaten this game yet. Life is busy, I'm an adult, and sometimes games fall to the wayside. But what I can say is that every single spare moment that I have, I find myself wanting to play this game. I loved the original Resident Evil 4. In fact, it's the first game that I ever tried to speedrun, which that speedrun kind of consisted of switching the discs around on the GameCube. So my bar for a good RE4 remake was set pretty high. Right out of the gate, you're greeted with some amazing looking graphics. Not that graphic quality is everything, but it really helps with the immersion of the world you're dropped into. But even more than the graphics, the sound design in this game really blew me away. It's way creepier than the original RE4, and honestly adds a sense of dread around every corner. I found myself walking instead of running at a few points because I could still hear some of the villagers' voices echoing from around the buildings, even though they were still pretty far away. Or when you can hear the soft churning music underneath the bleak atmospheric audio, you start to get a real feeling of impending doom. It's awesome. The gameplay is solid. Your bullets feel weak, as they're supposed to, and I often found myself feeling overpowered and overwhelmed by the enemies. This ain't Elden Ring. You can't dodge roll. And I tried. I've been playing a lot of Elden Ring, and I definitely tried to dodge roll a few times. But this really makes you take a step back and try to strategically plan out how to take care of the enemies in your path. Do you knife them? Do you shoot their legs in melee? Do you brute force it? Do you try to parry with your knife? There are tons of ways to approach combat, and tons of ways to still have a little mini panic attack when one of those little squid heads pops out and starts going all... Truthfully, I only have one gripe with this game, and it comes with a caveat. On the default settings, I got so motion sick from playing this that I could literally only play for 10 to 15 minutes at a time, which is rare for me. Typically, if a game causes me to feel motion sick, I can still get anywhere between 1 to 2 hours in before I even start to feel it. There's a really tight camera, a lot of motion blur and camera sway, and even some lens effects like chromatic aberration applied to the image, which looks freaking amazing, but ultimately led to me feeling like I needed to grab Chainsaw Man's head sack as a barf bag. I'm sorry, Chainsaw Papa. But there's a built-in preset that will decrease these things that cause motion sickness, and it even adds a little dot in the center of the screen, and once I turned this preset for graphics on, I was able to play pretty much indefinitely with no issues. So truthfully, I feel like I can't dock any points from the game because of my brain saying, oh no, you're gonna hurl, especially since the devs put in an accessibility feature to stop this from happening. I don't like to throw around high ratings. I think it muddies the water when every game is way up there, 10 out of 10. I'm looking at you, IGN. But honestly, the Resident Evil 4 remake so far, which for me is about 12 hours in, is easily a 10 out of 10. This game would have to really drop the ball in a big way for me to change my rating. From the graphics to the performance to the fact that they even kept in a lot of the cheesy dialogue, although I do miss the original Merchant's voice, and most importantly, the incredible combat and eerie gameplay, this game crushes. As a diehard fan of the original RE4, I don't think I'll ever go back to the original. The remake takes all of the best bits, improves on them, and creates a truly immersive atmosphere that you absolutely need to play to experience fully. Bye.